Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel Super Cute Creations, and I am actually here today in a hotel doing a craft with me. It is Sunday night, so welcome. And I'm going to just play around with some junk mail envelopes tonight. So hopefully um, you all will join me in the fun. I hope everybody had a great weekend. If you are here, please say hello over on the right-hand side. I'm just going to put a couple of links in to my groups, and then we'll go ahead and get started. If you'd like to craft along with me today, you may want to just bring some junk mail envelopes, and we are going to also use some scrap papers as well as just some embellishments that I have in a bin. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to start with today are these business size envelopes. And these business size envelopes are just, what you would get in the mail, or you might already have them in your stash. I think they are A10 size. I think that's the size that they are. And we're going to do just a couple of things with these today. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to get a glue stick or whatever type of adhesive that you're using. Now, when I travel, you guys, this is how I travel. A lot of you ask me, how do I find time to do this? I travel with this small, sorry guys, you're going to have to bear with me because the camera's propped up. So I travel with this small box of items, and then I also travel with this container. So this fits right inside there. I put this inside of a bag, and that's what I travel with. So and then I pretty much will take my glue sticks and my little ink dauber, an ink pad, and then I always travel with, my favorite scissors. So that's kind of what I do when I'm traveling. I don't take a ton of supplies, and that way I'm able to do things. Now, my daughter plays volleyball, and so the other thing I do is I always travel with something to do by hand. So I've been making these little fabric ruffles. So in between games, I can sew these cute little ruffles that can be used to embellish different pieces. And I apologize, you guys are gonna have to bear with me today with this camera setup because I'm used to the camera being in a different spot. So anyway, all I did is just go ahead and just glue down the flap, and then we're going to take our paper cutter, and I'm going to cut it at 6.5 inches. Yeah, 6.5 inches. So I have this little piece right here. Sorry guys, I'm going to slide over a little bit. Maybe I won't be out of frame. So I have this little piece right here, and then I have my 6.5 inch piece. Okay, from there, I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors, and I want it to kind of look similar to a tag. So I'm just going to lay this up here. And I'm going to cut. So I now have something that looks like this. Here is my pocket. The next thing I want to do is normally I would take a ruler, but since I'm not at home and I don't have my ruler, I'm just going to improvise with my bone folder. And I'm going to fold this flap down. I'm going to leave this back part up and fold this flap down. Now, once I've done that, now I can go ahead and I can start collaging on my envelope. So I'm grabbing my bag of collage papers and I'm just going to pull a few things out. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with that collage work. And I always just kind of pull a variety of papers to start and then go from there. Okay. So I do cover all of my envelopes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cover the area. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my glue stick. I'm going to make sure that I get glue everywhere. And I especially want to make sure that my edges are nice and sealed. Grab another glue stick here. I'm going to go ahead and just take my paper, oops, and I'm going to lay it right on here. And then I can go ahead and just fold this over. And we'll put another piece of paper on there. But you can see this is nice, nice paper. Easy to work with. Normally, you guys, I have my bone folder. But since I don't have my bone folder, I'm going to look for a piece of heavier weight cardstock. I have a piece right here. And I like to fold it in half. And I'm going to use this just like I would my ruler. So I'm going to press down and I'm going to pull up. So just another way to improvise if you don't have the tools you need with you. So all I did is just take a piece of cardstock and used it, folded it in half and used it just like I would a ruler. So another quick tip while you're traveling. Now, I always take something in the car with me. I always, no matter where I'm at, take something in the car. Some people say that they cannot work in the car because it makes them car sick. I'm lucky enough that it doesn't seem to bother me in the car, so I just work in the car when I can. And it's amazing how much time and how much stuff I can get done. And I typically only take things that are easy to work on, or if I have a lot of scraps, or I have a lot of things that I want to get going, you know, like little fabric clusters or something like that. Something that's easy to take. You know, like I said, you can't take your whole craft room with you when you go. But you can take quite a few items with you. And if you limit it to a shoebox like I do, then it sure makes life a lot easier packing. So if you didn't have your paper cutter, now I brought my paper cutter with me, but if you didn't have your paper cutter, you could use this method. And see, it leaves just a nice kind of a rough edge. And I don't mind that rough edge. I'm just tearing that off. And we now have something that looks like this. Okay. Now I do want to cover this flap in here. So we're going to cut this paper. And I'm going to cover Oh, and of course I cut it too small. Story of my life. All right, let's trim this first. Apologize if I'm out of frame. Like I said, you guys, I'm improvising in a hotel room. So even anybody can craft on the road. Can everybody hear me okay? Hopefully, if you give me a thumbs up or let me know on the right-hand side if you can hear me. I'm hoping everybody can hear me just fine. It's kind of difficult to know. And I'm just going in here. Oops. I'm sure the housekeeper is going to be thrilled that this glue is all over here. I did bring a package of baby wipes so that I can clean up after myself. So I always recommend to also make sure you put in whatever your travel kit is, your travel crafting kit, a thing of baby wipes. Because that will clean up your area quickly. All right, so I'm just going to burnish this down, clip my edges, and then we're going to cover this part and we will be done. Now, I like to glue this down, this flap. You don't have to do this, but I like to glue this flap down. And then I will typically, I should have covered that before I glued it down, but that's okay. That's what I'm going to do. Hi, Patty. How are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Peel that back up just so that I can make sure that I get this the right size. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my glue on here. Hopefully you're doing well, Patty. Please, if you're coming in to watch, please say hello so I know who's in here. I'd love to say hello to everybody tonight who comes in. Now, sometimes I don't bring all of the embellishment pieces with me. A lot of times I will just make bulk items. So, for example, if I just wanted to work on getting some pockets, I might just bring the collage stuff and the pockets, and that's it for this. And we now have a pocket. The cool thing about this is it looks like a tag, so you can use this as a clip-in if you want, or you can glue it right on your page and it becomes a pocket here and a pocket here. So you can do a couple different things with that. Now, the thing I like about these is they're really easy to dress up. You can just simply dress this pocket up, and I'm grabbing one of my little fabric pieces. And I'm not sure, I don't think I brought my Fabri-Tac with me this time. Sometimes I'll throw Fabri-Tac in and sometimes I don't. But I can show you what this will look like. And then I just look for something in my bin here to embellish it. Oh, let's see. What do we have? Sorry guys, my fingers are not working very well. I can't thumb through this like I normally can. So my daughter played volleyball. We spent the entire weekend down here. Well, all over actually. This is our second hotel we've been in. She has a doctor's appointment. So we ended up staying an additional night because her doctor's appointment is down about 40 minutes from where we play volleyball. And so we just decided rather than getting back up tomorrow again and driving down, that we would just stay over closer to where her appointment is. So that's why we're still here. And I wouldn't have put this on the calendar had I known this doctor's appointment was going to be here, but that's okay. So I can just simply put, oh, I don't like that. Kind of like this. So we could do something like that. I could come in here and I could glue this. If I had my glue, I would glue it on 3 sides. So this becomes a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. So that's just a really quick envelope pocket. Now, we still have this. If you wanted to, you could also attach this to the front and cover this, and you could have another pocket right here and right here. But I like to keep these pockets, and I'll cover them just like I did the other ones. And you can use this as a pocket as well. So I just go ahead and I put my glue down. And a lot of times I'll just keep quite a few of these in my stash so that when I'm ready, and I typically try to cover them with book page or dictionary page or vintage book page, because for most of the journals that I do, I can get away with that style. Because even if I wanted to do something more artsy, I can always stamp over this or paint over it or do something different. So I'm doing the same process that I did before. I'm just going to fold this over just for time's sake. And I'm going to fold this piece over. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get some more book page. Let's see here. I grab this book page. And I'm just going to cover the area. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. These are so easy. And, you know, save those envelopes. So you get junk mail or whatever, and I just save those envelopes in a little baggie. You guys know, those of you that have been watching me know I'm like the Ziploc baggie queen. Me and Gail Augustinelli. And I just use those little baggies, and I just store the stuff in there. And so by doing that, it just allows me, and then when that bag's full, I don't collect that anymore. I don't collect that type of junk for junk journaling. So when my bag is full and it's stuffed and you can't get any more in there, then the other stuff has to go in recycling, or I force myself to use it so I can save more stuff. But once this bag is full, see, like this bag is pretty well full, I don't get another bag. Like I figure if I have this many envelopes, junk mail envelopes, and I did pull these out because these were in here too. If I have this many, I need to use them up before I start saving any more. So that's sort of my philosophy, and that's how I do it. You know, you guys do what works best for you, but for me, I just can't keep saving that stuff, or then in my mind, I just become a hoarder. So I have to be able to use the items. Okay, so I now have another pocket here. And I'm just gonna tear a piece because I like the torn look on my pieces. I don't mind that at all. So I'm going to add this little piece on here. And this little pocket will be done. And all this is a scrap piece of avocado dyed paper. So I'm just covering up that little spot that was still an envelope. And there is another pocket. And no one even knows. And I could actually go all the way around it so it becomes two pieces or two-sided. And I think I'll do that. That way I can choose which side I want to keep and what side I want to put down. Now, you don't have to do that. Sometimes I only do the fronts of them. But if I don't know what I'm going to do with them, sometimes I will do both sides because maybe I want this side or maybe I want this side. And you know what? All that stuff is just scraps. I'm not using up anything that's brand new or anything like that. So here's my next piece. And you can ink it up around the edges. But then, you know, I can just simply create a collage to go on this. And you have a cute little clustered pocket. And I'm just grabbing things right now. So I would take a little more time, but I just wanted to show you kind of what you can do with just things that you have in your stash. And there you have this cute little pocket. Isn't that cute? All right, so that's two pockets. And I actually think I'll ink this up and I think I'll actually glue that stuff on there. So we have at least one finished pocket. Just a second to ink that up. You love it, Patty? I'm glad. Yeah, I just love these. And out of one envelope, I was able to get two pockets. And I'm just barely going around these edges. And this is just something I printed. It's on regular copy weight paper. So it's not even on anything fancy. Cute little postcards for me. Excited I get to use that little piece. And this is a Tim Holtz piece. And normally I would use some heavier glue. I just don't have any with me right now because I am traveling. So I'm going to add that down there. And I'm going to add this cute little postcard kind of on an angle. And we have an adorable little pocket. That is ready to slip something into. Hi, Emma. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, isn't that cute? So out of this first one, we were able to get two pockets. You know what? Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just let's finish this one up too. Well, I'm glad you were watching, Emma. It's kind of a last minute thing. My husband and my daughter, they ran out to go pick up a couple of things. And I told them, I said, well, I got to get on here because my girls, I wasn't on last Sunday. I've had some craziness going on in my household with some health issues and things. So, so I wanted to make sure, even if I was on the road, and I just went on two sides, you guys, even if I was on the road, I was going to at least do a little short video for you all today. Even in the hotel. Even when I travel, you guys, I don't travel as much as I used to for work, but I used to travel for work a lot, and I would even pack things in my suitcase. And I would take them with me, and at night because typically when I travel for work, I don't go out and do anything. You know, I usually grab a bite to eat and come back to my hotel room, and it's pretty much call it a night, you know. But um, one of the things that I do like to do is I'm not a big TV watcher, as you all know. You hear me say that 100 times, right? So I take stuff with me and I work on the stuff while I'm working, you know, or while I'm in my hotel room, this is what I do. And so I'll grab a few things and I just work on it. So isn't that cute? Oh, Emma, you saw I was going to do it from my hotel room, huh? So you had to just check it out and see how crazy I really was, right? Yeah, you all didn't think I was going to do it. I kicked my family out for a little bit and I am in here videoing for you guys. All right, so 1 envelope, 2, and I'm just throwing ephemera in here because, like I said, but look. So I'm 1 envelope, 2 cute pockets. All right, let's do another one. So this is another way that I like to do it. I love to take these envelopes and, oh my goodness, I have a mess on my desk already. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to seal this baby. And you don't want to get it on here. Only get it on the part that has the adhesive where you would lick your envelope. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea, Emma. I might grab some while I'm traveling. We've been traveling a lot lately for my daughter. So, okay. So the first thing I do, and if you have scissors, you can do this. I'm just taking a sliver off the end because I want to open this up. Okay, so all I did is open that up. The next thing I do is I fold this up about, 2.5 inches maybe. And then we're going to, and notice I always collage on this side. I purposely do that because I don't want this part to come off, especially if I'm gluing this down or I'm going to be putting stuff. So if I glue this down on let's just say I'm going to glue this down on a page like this. If I have these and I'm trying to stuff things in it, see what happens? It gets hooked on it. So that's why I always collage over this part. Okay, so we're going to collage. Once again, I'm just grabbing my book page. So I'm going to just collage or put my glue down so I can put my book page on here. Once again, make sure your edges are good. Okay. I want the writing because you all know I love writing. If anybody ever finds a book, again, this was like a miracle that I found this book. This is a French book, and the person annotated in the book. Okay, so I'm taking my homemade ruler, and I'm just tearing down the edge here. Now, I could use my paper cutter. I could use my scissors. But I want this to be something, if you're going to travel on an airplane, you guys, you know we can't take scissors anymore. So I tried to take projects, and maybe I'll video. I'm going to be going with my husband on spring break. Maybe I'll video on the airplane. I can't do it live, but maybe if you guys are interested, I could do what I do on the airplane. I told you all I'm crazy. I do this stuff all the time. My husband just rolls his eyes when we get ready. He's like, I don't understand. We're only going for 1 day. Why do you have to take he always tells me my craft box is bigger than my clothing that I take with me. All right. Yeah, maybe I'll do that because we're going to Florida in March. And you guys, I know this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but you guys all know I have a daughter. We only have one daughter, and our whole life is her. And she's getting older, and we're going to have that empty nest syndrome soon. We are allowing her to go on spring break with a friend. Okay, before I do this, I want to talk to you, and then I'll finish my story. You can do this two ways. You can cut this edge off, and then you can have a pocket and a pocket. Now, I'm sorry, a pocket and a pocket. I've done that, so it would be like this. I've done that, but I don't like it very well because it doesn't give you a lot of room here. So I just leave it like it is, and I'm going to cover this with a different book page. Anyway, we are pretty protective of her. Our house is, she's our miracle child, and our house is pretty much the house that everybody comes to. So she was asked by some wonderful people who we know and a wonderful family if she could join them for spring break. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. To be honest with you, I was being selfish because I was like, we're going on spring break this year. I don't want her to go with them. And she begged us to go, and she's a good kid. And so I was like, okay, you can go. Well, my husband and I booked our vacation literally like 7 miles from where they're going, just because I'm so nervous about what would happen, if there's an emergency or something like that. Originally, we were going to go to Las Vegas, take my parents to Las Vegas. And I'm like, I can't be in Las Vegas and have her all the way in southern Florida in case something happens. So anyway, we're going to Florida. Make long story short, we're going to Florida. So, but I don't really know what to do with just my husband and I, because we have had, like I said, our whole life is Hallie, and we pretty much plan vacations around whatever she wants, and kind of does do what she wants. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be interesting. So we're starting now to learn a little bit about the empty nest and what that's going to be like when she's gone. So anyway, I've already been thinking about like, what can I take on the plane and what can I take to work on? It's going to be very interesting because my husband's idea of vacation is to go all the time. And my idea of vacation is to sit on a beach and soak up the sun and read books and craft and yeah. So, and Hallie's kind of our happy medium. We always do stuff with her. And then usually in the evenings, they will go and do something, and then I can kind of read or craft or whatever. Okay, so here is my cute little pocket. And I would normally not use a glue stick to go along these edges, you guys. If you are at home, use your Aleene's tacky glue, or I typically would be using my Fabri-Tac. And I will probably go home and stitch around these just because I'm worried this glue stick's not going to hold up over time. But here is another adorable little pocket, and I want to show you. So we've got pockets right here. And then we have our big pocket back here. So there is another pocket, and that's just out of one envelope. And you can decorate this. I mean, it's so cute when you put a little bit of decoration on it and add a little bit of embellishment. You don't need a whole lot to do that. Okay. So I have another idea. I have no idea how it's going to work, you guys, so bear with me. I have an idea of a pocket, a pouch, I guess. And I'm going to call this my tag ephemera pouch. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing we've done before. All right, so you guys want to see a video of me? You know what? Comment below. And if you guys are watching this on the replay and you want me to show you my little craft kit on the plane and how I'm going to craft on the plane, everyone's going to think I'm crazy, you guys, if I do this. I know, but all the people in the plane are going to be like, what is this lady doing? Okay, so I cut this at about 6.5, leaving this other piece here just like we did before. But this time, I am going to cut this at a bigger angle. And my thought is you could cover this. It would be really cute. I don't have a hole punch. I didn't bring one. But let's pretend I have a hole punch. Okay, actually, I can use my needle. And I'll hole punch this when I get home. Okay, so here's my thought. Okay, so let's pretend this is a big hole. Okay, so it's hole here. I'll be able to put a piece of fabric in there and tie it. And then inside would be like a secret place to store items. You could store photos in there. You could store ephemera. I just think it would be a fun secret place to store items. So when I get home, because I did not bring a hole punch, ooh, my glue stick went wild. You're way past the baggie. Yeah, then you have to, I'm telling you then, Patty, your challenge this week, if you're past the baggie and you're just overflowing with your envelopes, then you have to get them out this week. I'm challenging you. You have to get them out, and you have to do something with them. Okay, I'm challenging you, and I want you to head over to my, if you do this and you get some of these done, I want you to take some photos, and I'd like you to post them on my Facebook page, because I'd like to see what you came up with. But I want to challenge you, because you know what, you guys, if we don't challenge each other, we're going to continue to just hoard supplies. And I'm just tearing. See, I don't need scissors. This is something I can do on the airplane, and I won't get in trouble because I don't need my scissors. Because that's the piece I'm trying to figure out, is like, what can I get away with on the airplane? So I'm going to cover the back of this too, since it's going to be a pouch. So I'm going to grab another piece of paper. Ooh. Let's grab a piece from the survey book. That's fun, Emma. That's a great idea. Yeah, if you go, I mean, even like if you have a cottage or you go someplace and you're able to leave stuff, it's important to do that. I mean, I take, some of you know already, my mom has a disease called supranuclear palsy. And my mom's very young, and it's a very debilitating disease. And unfortunately, until some famous actor or someone famous gets it, there's not a lot of research out there on it. But she's not a big crafter, but she likes to watch me. So when I go up to give my dad a break, sometimes, because they live 2.5 hours away, I will just do things like this, and she'll watch me, and it's fun. And on good you know, she'll ask me questions about it. And on bad days, you know, when she's having a rough day, she just watches me. And so a lot of times I'll just sit next to her and I'll chit chat with her like I'm chatting with you guys, giving her something else to look at other than, you know, the TV or something like that. So we do that sometimes, which is fun. So, you know, if you go visit somebody or you have a person who has, you know, or even at the doctor's office, you guys, this little baggie, I take this to the doctor's office. My daughter's going to the doctor tomorrow, and you know, I know we're going to be in the waiting room for at least 20 minutes. Do you know how many of those I can get done in 20 minutes? So many. So I just keep that in my purse. It's another great thing for those of you that are still working and you have a lunch break. You know, think about what are some things you can take with you and just decompress a little bit. Oh, you make her wreaths? Hi, Luann. Luann, I am here crafting in a hotel room. So that's why the lighting's a little strange and the desk looks weird. Told you guys I was gonna give it a try. I normally do this without my camera. My husband was like, "Are you really bringing your webcam?" I said, "Absolutely. We're gonna give it a try." So I have it propped up. You guys have no idea. I have it propped up crazy. It could fall at any second on our heads. But I have it all propped up so that I could share with you all tonight. Yeah. We actually went out to dinner, and my husband and my daughter, they're out doing a little bit of shopping. We're gonna watch the All-Star game. We're huge sports fans. As you know, my daughter plays basketball and she plays volleyball on travel teams. And tonight is the NBA All-Stars game. So that's sort of our plan. That starts shortly. So there we go. So you guys, I am going to punch a hole in this. I'm going to tie a little ribbon around it, and I'm going to fill it with goodies. Or I can fill it with pictures, and I have a little pouch to put in my journal. Okay, so I want to show you something else. Sometimes I will take these. We just got to be a little more conscious about my mess making here because it's not my craft room. If I throw it on my floor at home, I just sweep it up. Okay, so my idea for this one is going to be a side loading pocket. So remember, ooh, the glue. So remember that this is the part we cut off of here. So we're going to make a side loading pocket now. And I just really want to use the rest of this collage paper up. So we actually went to a Mexican restaurant. And it was very good. It was authentic Mexican food, and it was yummy. We had pizza last night in the hotel, and so I told my husband and my daughter they would have pizza, I think, every day if I would let them. I said, I'm not. We're going to a restaurant. We're not doing pizza again. So we went to a restaurant that was close. All right. So I want to kind of just make this a little unique using up the rest of these scraps. The other thing I try to do when I'm traveling is I try to use up what I have. So for this one, okay. For this one, I just want to use up these scraps because I'm not going to put these scraps back in my scrap bin. All right, so I went ahead, just put a little bit of ink on there. Okay, and I'm going to trim this. And because I know I'm going to be gluing this as a side pocket, I'm not going to do the back of this one. I'm just going to fold this over. We'll ink around the whole thing. And then I can take this, put it on my page. I can have a side pocket like this. I would glue this side and this side. And then I would have a top tuck as well. So another quick and easy way to do that. So those are just my ideas. I wanted to play with some envelopes. And so as you can see, I'll show you what we ended up with. And I told you guys it would be a quick tutorial, but I did want to do it from my hotel room tonight. So let me show you what we made here. So we have these two that were made from the same envelope. We have this little cutie that was made from one envelope. And then we have the pocket, which we're going to put a hole in here and tie it. And then we have the side tuck pocket. So that's what we made out of 2 business envelopes. This size, actually we did out of 3. So this was 3 business envelopes. That's it. And we made these adorable 5 little pockets. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Bye, everyone.